Boom. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning. Good morning. Appreciate you guys rocking here, being here, and hanging with us. Thank you for sharing. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. I appreciate you guys. And again, welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy, where we don't stand out, we stand up. Just a quick programming note. Uh, if you ever missed an episode of the Brothers of Legacy, or you would like to listen to one of the older episodes of the Brothers of Legacy, be sure to check out the Brothers of Legacy podcast. Be sure to check out the Brothers of Legacy podcast. Some people are hearing this right now and they're on the podcast, and I appreciate you for listening. We are growing steadily and I appreciate you. So make sure you check out the Brothers of Legacy podcast. Make sure you check out the Brothers of Legacy podcast. You'll definitely enjoy it. Get the audio version, get to listen while you're driving, listen while you're doing whatever you're doing. So I appreciate you. So make sure you share. Sharing is caring. This is the time to share. I need to do like a whole event on it. Sharing is caring. So make sure you share. If you're part of our text community, if not, I don't know what you're doing with your life and you're on here, make sure you text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Never miss an episode. Always get an opportunity to see the episodes from the beginning or miss a broadcast, same thing. So make sure you never miss an episode, never miss a broadcast of anything going on in Legacy Walker Network. And you get to stay up to date with all the things and the things that are happening. Oh, Miss Keita in the building. Great morning to you. Thank you for being here. She says, still don't know how to share. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you one day. But if you go to the share button, hit the copy button. You can copy the link, go over to Facebook and just paste that link to one of your posts and let everybody know that what you're doing in the morning is watching the best show to watch in the morning, the Brothers of Legacy. So we appreciate you. Today we're talking about evolving as a dad. Evolving as a dad. Good morning, Mama McCory. Great morning to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for rocking with us. So today we're talking about evolving as a dad, what we did versus what we do. So there's a lot of things, as a dad, as your children get older and you begin to learn things and you begin to operate differently. And then, like I have two kids, you do one thing with one and you learn to do another thing with the other, you know. And so you develop and you grow and you realize some things you've been too sensitive about and some things you weren't sensitive enough about. So we're going to dig into that today. So I look forward to having that conversation. And we're going to have a great time. So make sure you tag somebody, tag a brother, tag a sister, tag an enemy, tag a friend, tag a cousin, tag an uncle, and let them all know that the brothers is on. The brothers is on. As well as tag somebody, inbox them. If you're part of the text community, take your text and go down the line and share it everybody with your contacts. Share it with your contacts. Just share the link. Just say, hey, check this out. You don't want to miss this one. Check it out. And just spam everybody. And tag somebody. Definitely tag somebody. All right. So we appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for being with us every single day. We're here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 9:01 sometimes. Apologize for that. But yes, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. So I am so excited to be here. I'm glad you guys are here because you could be watching anything. There's a plethora of things to be watching, from YouTube to Netflix to Hulu to cable to AT&T, whatever it may be, HBO Max, whatever it may be. But you're here rocking with us, and I appreciate you, and I do not take your being here for granted. In my podcast, people appreciate you guys rocking as well. Make sure you rate and review. And everybody here, go to the Facebook page, the Brothers of Legacy Facebook page, and rate and review. Said this is the best broadcast I've ever seen in my life. My whole world has changed since I've been watching this show. So put that in. I appreciate you. Oh, so it might be just me today. I got to see my brother, Pastor McCoy, maybe take care of some business. So we'll see how that goes down. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, we'll be right back after this. All right, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Look at that. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Perfect. Good morning, Pastor Brian McCoy.
Morning.
Yes, indeed. We are in the building. Another day. Just another day.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes,
Happy
indeed.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. All right. Can't believe is it September yet? No, it's almost
Nope.
there.
Next week.
Almost there. I think I'm moving it too fast. All right. So yes, welcome to another edition of Brothers of Legacy. Make sure you share. Hold on. I got to do a little bit of my sharing. Make sure you do that. Like I said, today we're talking about evolving as a dad. Yesterday we talked about parenting. But today I want to kind of dig into some of the things we have learned over the course of our children growing older. And for Pastor, he's had different generations, so he has different experience, which I love. He can share what he learned when he first became a dad and what he has learned and his other kids. Well, all of his, but the second set in a different space, in a different
You make
place
it
with a
sound
different
so
mindset.
complex.
I know, I do. I do. There was one mindset, and then there was another mindset. So we're gonna discuss that as well. Oh, digging in.
Hey Lisa. Hey Keita. Hey mother. Hey mom.
So today, first I want to start off with asking for you, when you first, let's see, who was your first baby?
Taisha.
So when you found out mom was pregnant, what did fatherhood look like to you?
Before she came?
Yeah, because that first one is the crucial one, because that changes everything.
Yeah, I don't know that I put a whole lot
Okay.
to that because I was in the military
Right.
and I was just going off of what I saw in everyone else.
Okay.
you know, and through everyone else, it was I do my job, she does her job,
Right.
right? I,
Okay.
provide, perform my duties,
Right.
and you're at home and you take care of the baby, the pregnancy.
Okay.
That's kind of how, because I was young. I was
Right.
19, 20, something like
Okay.
that.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was married at 19, and
Gotcha.
I think she got pregnant. Let's see, was married in like the summer, like June,
Okay.
and I think she got pregnant in like August or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
And my phone is blowing up.
I see. I hear it. I hear
Well,
it.
we
So for
get
you.
the morning texts from Brienne, who's in
Oh,
college,
okay.
so she has
Okay.
to. I need to know what she's wearing every day when she leaves her apartment,
Okay.
and we do all the good mornings and stuff, and it's always a
Nice.
colorful morning because she's
Right.
away from the house now. So anyway,
Yes. Okay.
yeah. So it was. I got to turn this thing down because the whole
So that's
family gets
that's
it.
gonna
The
be the
whole
end of the story
it's a
right there.
family group text.
Oh, okay. So everybody
So
responded.
everybody's
Okay.
responding. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, love group texts. Love them.
Yeah. She, she gets dressed, so everybody wants to talk about how cute her outfit is and have a great day. And
Right, right.
you know, I guess the iPhones love you can love an image.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
all that's yeah,
Now
yeah.
you
The
can't. You don't
hearts.
need to just type it in. You just need to hold and I love this.
Yeah,
Right.
what's funny, quick story. You can do that with the iPhones. My wife has an Android, so she
Oh.
actually types the word loved and they paste
Right.
so
Right.
it looks like because she thought that's what everybody else was doing.
Right. Because she just reads the text part. Right.
Yeah,
Gotcha. 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 Gotcha.
it's so funny. I'm like, you go through all that effort. So anyway, um, so I thought I turned it down. So yeah, I didn't. There was not a whole lot of thought because what I tell people, there was not a whole lot of thought because I didn't have a whole lot of training
Right.
and
Okay.
preparation.
Okay.
It just kind of happened. I'm married. She got pregnant. Comes
Right.
with marriage.
Right.
Continue to do my job
Right.
and just be there. you
Right.
know, and that's kind of how it was. So that was me before she came.
Okay.
I knew to be at every appointment.
Right. Just
I
be
knew to
there.
be present.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't miss any appointments. Um, I was there for the birth,
Okay.
you know, and now when she was born, I was a hawk.
Right.
Don't touch her. Don't breathe on her. You know, keep your distance.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I was
Good morning,
crazy.
Deborah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody had a disease, you know.
Right. Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah.
you. You can't hold my baby. No, no. Did you
No,
sanitize? Did you
nah.
sanitize? You
Right.
know.
Yeah. She
So
was the baby in the plastic bubble.
right, 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 right. Don't break
Yeah.
her. Don't break. You might break her.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I get that because we were the same. Definitely like very conscious about who's around your kid or around your baby. Very, very strict. Like you feel like I don't know you enough. I've seen you. I don't know you enough for you to hold my
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Of course, you limit to family and things of that nature. So yeah, you're really, really protective. I think for myself, it's like, you know, my mindset was like, am I ready for this? Regardless, it doesn't matter. But like, how do you prepare? How do you get your mind? I think the infamous book about, I think it's before pregnancy. I forgot the name of the book. I've seen it. I think a lot of people have had it. The same book. Just the things to expect, what to expect. I think the name of the book was. Um, so I
Oh,
had
what to
that.
expect when expecting.
Yeah, they
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
the
that.
infamous
Yeah.
book, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the guide. It was like it
Yeah.
seemed like the infamous guide. There you
Yeah.
go. What to expect when expecting. Yeah.
I beat you,
Um,
Samantha.
right. so and so we had the guide and we did right. Right. So yeah, passed down. Somebody gave it to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Cause and I say it's infamous because I know I've seen the book. Everyone's like, yeah, I got this. I was like, you got the same book. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
who is dishing this book out like the Bible? So I remember, reading that, trying to prepare, right? Right. Look, it's not really, it just shows up slow, right? Oh, you talking about the answers. But so yeah, so we had the book and just, you know, getting in the headspace of what to expect. And for Sam, she's raised her sisters, or she's been around babies, and it of course is always different when it's your own. When they're not your own, it's like, it's always like I'm limited to what I teach or what I show or the time and things of that nature. But your own, of course, it's on you 20, 100%.
Yeah.
you know
I didn't have exposure. I'm trying to think, that I have any exposure to any babies
right.
before my first daughter was born. I don't remember anybody around me
That
with a
much.
newborn growing
Okay,
up.
with a newborn. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember
Okay.
ever, I know that there were babies around, but I just don't recall ever interacting with
Gotcha.
infants in my
Gotcha.
childhood,
Right.
right?
Right.
Um, because my mom worked every day, so she wasn't keeping nobody's babies. And she
Right.
had,
Right.
there were no other. She had 4 sons. She was raising
Right.
4 sons,
Right.
and she didn't have any siblings in our town where we lived. So
Right.
there were no babies around us. So my first experience with the newborn was mine.
Gotcha.
And I just remember learning as much as I could learn, talking to the doctors. I got really engaged,
Yeah.
like I did my job,
Right.
and like she was at home, because like when like I was at Fort Campbell, and so I go to the field, come home, I do my duty, come home, that kind of stuff. And we lived together, we separated, I was in the barracks for a while, just that young crazy stuff,
Right.
don't know how to
Yeah.
be married.
Right.
um, but um, I paid attention. I wanted to make sure I knew, like when the baby came, I wanted to make sure I knew everything that needed to be done. So I
Right.
was very, very close to that. I was very close to the appointments. I wanted to hear what the doctors had to say. I wanted to know the
Right.
process. I was always engaged in that kind of stuff.
Right.
Um, and even when she was born, like I remember, making the decision about the epidural. I remember,
Okay.
the doctor saying, yeah, it's going to numb her from the waist down.
Right.
I remember all that. The spinal tap. You
Uh-huh.
know, um, I remember the contractions, the counting down, because like I went through that process, like when the contractions started, and I'm timing them to
Right.
figure out, if this Braxton Hicks or is this real, all
Right.
that kind of
Right.
stuff. And then
Yeah.
we found out it was time to go to the hospital, and so at that point I was in. I was
Right.
all the way in,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and so went in at like 8 o'clock one evening, and she came like 4 o'clock in the morning, you
Wow.
know. Um, and
Wow.
uh and I called and told my unit that she had been born, and we were getting ready to deploy. Uh,
Wow.
I don't know where we were going, but we were getting ready to deploy, and I called my sergeant and tell him I'm not going anywhere because this baby just came, you know.
Wow.
Um, and so from then it just became master every aspect of this.
Right.
Right, I
Right.
went from, okay, you take care of your body, and I'll go do this, to being all the way in
Right.
and becoming the expert, right, on
Right.
everything.
Right.
And that's kind of how it was for me, you know.
Right. Right. Said Anthony didn't have no real interaction here like other people's kids. Yeah, wasn't a big fan. I dealt with him at a minimum. I did, so having my own was like, a shift in my thinking. And like you, I was all in. Like Sam knew a lot. She had some experience. Of course, learning with our own is a whole nother level. But so I watched a lot of what she did, and I just, I saw that it worked. So I just kind of mimicked what she did,
Mhm.
and just learning it that way. Learning how to, nurture and just kind of be there. And without the fear of not knowing what to do. Like I've always said, I never wanted to be the dad that didn't know what to do,
Mhm.
if she wasn't around. So I always watched and made sure I was ready. I was ready for the moment that she
Yeah,
says, I'm leaving to go out. I'll be right back. And be like, what am I gonna do with this baby? Like
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. So I just, so I'm like you, I was like ready to be all in, just I'm all in. I'm all in. I got this. I got this. And
yeah.
and
My
learning
my
it.
when we when the first baby came, yeah, my first wife didn't know nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I prided myself on being the expert. I prided myself on being
No,
better than her.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
And
you.
and a lot of that came with being in the military. I thought I could do
Gotcha.
anything, and so
Gotcha.
I took that military mindset and applied it. Give
Right.
me the instructions, let me know what to do, and I'm going to perfect the process.
Right.
Like changing Pampers, I'm gonna make sure every crack and crevice is clean, no pun intended.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna make sure the Pampers put on right, make sure
Right.
everything is nice, even. You know, I mean,
Right.
that's how I was very meticulous with that
Gotcha.
stuff because at the time, everything in the military had to be meticulously done.
Meticulous. Gotcha. So you had
Yeah.
that habit.
Yeah, so I
Right.
was already in that frame of mind, like, I gotta
Right.
get it done and I gotta get it done right. Everything I did, it was like I prepared the baby every time for inspection, you know?
Right.
It was always prepared. Everything was preparation for inspection, you know?
I
Yeah,
got
I had a format for, rolling up dirty Pampers and all of that,
wow.
like it had to be rolled up, pull the strap over, pull the other strap over, and it had to be a nice, neat little bundle
Yeah, like that
before you
tight.
put it in the. Yeah, it had
Nice.
to be tight. I don't want anything leaking out,
Right. Right.
before you put it in the hopper. And so
Gotcha.
that's kind of what my mindset was. Um, you know,
Wow.
I mean, I was like Denzel Washington. I was surgical.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, yeah, I did okay. Like there were moments, I missed the mark. I missed the mark. And a little mess to clean up. Like I didn't put that on tight enough.
Mm,
I didn't put that on good enough. 'Cause, he was squirm a little bit. So I just like, all right, bro, you good. You're good. Go somewhere.
yeah,
Go.
yeah.
But yeah, so Sim said he didn't wait for me. He would he would come get his son and take him in the room. Yeah, we would have our moments. Like every time I come home from work, everyone's like, hey baby, I like come get the baby. It's me and your time. We would hang out and watch TV and just, I would interact. Yeah, 21. Yep, you right. 21 for one poop.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Like I make sure get
Wow.
all like gotta get between the legs. All right, need
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah, you gotta get all them rolls, man. All them rolls. Had to get the rolls. You know.
Right.
I got a funny story though.
Uh-oh.
I was outside of Fort Campbell, and so there was a mall in Clarksville, and at one point my brother came to Fort Campbell and hung out with me, and
Don't
we
do that.
took the baby to the
Right.
mall,
Okay.
right? And I asked him to, pack the diaper bag and stuff,
Uh-oh.
right? And we get to the mall, and Taisha had one of those crazy poops
Oh.
where like it came out, it was the
Ooh.
runs, and it came out and came crawling up the onesie up her back, and
Yeah.
and we didn't know till we got her up out of the carrier,
Right.
and then you looking like, oh my god, and that's when you realize you didn't pack everything.
Oh.
So we didn't have an extra set of clothes
Okay.
for her, and
Wow.
we were in the mall. In the mall, they have the baby changing stations and stuff like
Yes.
that, right?
Right.
So we had one pamper, but we didn't have any wipes. So she had just committed a crime up her backside, right?
Right.
And so we go to the bathroom, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do we do? What do we do? And like we wash her we
Right.
put her in the sink in the
Right.
in the in the
Yeah.
bathroom. We're in the men's
Yes.
bathroom
Right.
with
Right.
this
Watch the
baby, two
baby.
guys, two grown men in the men's bathroom with this baby, and we're washing her. I'm cleaning
Right.
her in the sink, right?
Right.
And I'm telling him, wash out the onesie. And so he's
Right.
over on the other sink. He's washing out the onesie, getting all the poop and everything
Right.
out of the onesie,
Right.
using the soap in the bathroom, the
Right.
public bathroom, and we
Right.
get it all rinsed out and everything. And so he's got the hand dryer, the wall
Dry.
mounted hand dryer, and
Right.
he's drying the
Grind
onesie
it. Right.
uh,
Right. Right.
on the hand dryer. And then meanwhile, I got her, and she's wet because I washed her in the sink, and I got
Right.
her on the other hand dryer, and I'm drying her, but I got her hanging up.
Right.
You flip it
Yes.
around, and
Uh-huh.
I'm holding
Yes.
her up above
Yeah.
the hand dryer
Right.
high enough to where it's not too hot,
Right.
for
Right.
her. And you walk in the bathroom and you see one guy holding a onesie, and you
And
see another
yeah.
guy holding a
Oh, the
baby,
baby.
drying her butt,
Right.
because I didn't want to use those brown
Yeah.
paper towels. They were
Yeah.
too
They were
rough,
hard. Right.
Yeah. And that really happened.
Wow.
That was yeah. Ernest takes the baby out,
Right. You're right. Right. Just like the movie scenes. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that really happened, man. That
Wow.
really happened. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So moving from the baby, and then so we have our first one. So let's see. Was the second one about the same, or were you in a different mindset?
No, my
For the
mindset
second.
was the same,
Okay.
but the relationship was not healthy.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
that's when when my second child was born, that's when I was in a center, in a shelter,
Oh, okay.
right? So
Okay.
she wasn't born in the shelter.
Right.
I had just found a place. So when she was pregnant with Diane, we were in a shelter. I was homeless.
Wow.
She got, you know, Diane was conceived in a shelter.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and so she carried her. She was in, and then we moved. I got a, Lord blessed me with a job.
Right.
That's when the miracles began to happen in my life,
Okay.
right? And so my mindset was the same when Diane was born. Like, don't touch her, don't breathe on her,
Right.
don't do
Right.
anything,
Right.
And at that time, I had connected with this church, and people were looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, the
Right.
mothers in the church, everybody wants to be around the baby, and I'm
Of
like,
course.
"Nope." I
Right.
was,
Right.
I, it was bad. They did not like me, man. They did not
Wow.
like me.
Wow.
Um, so it was different. And then, when she was born, relationship wasn't like, I was there for the birth and all of that,
Right.
but very soon thereafter we were separated.
Okay.
So I missed time
Right.
with Diane until I got it. Like, I'm the one who potty trained her. I got her
Right.
out of Pampers.
Right.
um and then after that is kind of when I became a couple of years later, I got them when I moved back to California, and I was a single parent. They were a little older,
Right.
but at that point, we were kind of back and forth. The relationship was inconsistent. So, Taisha, when my oldest was probably 4, 5,
Okay.
and that's when we went through our separation after Diane was born.
Gotcha. 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 Gotcha.
So,
Man. Yeah. Go ahead.
there were gaps. There were gaps.
Okay.
Uh, But same thing with Brian. Same thing with Brienne, with Rachel. I was the same person. I was overly engaged. I was overprotective.
Okay.
Throughout the pregnancy, when they were born, you couldn't touch them.
Right.
I was the expert. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing.
Right.
Even with my wife, when Brienne was born, Brienne, we had some complications. Um, Brienne was due in February, but my wife's water broke in November.
Wow.
Yeah, November 22nd. My birthday is November 25th. So
Right.
3 days before my birthday, the water broke. I'm like, she's trying to come for my birthday. You know.
She's
Yeah.
right.
And so what's interesting is, again, I was there for everything. I followed closely. I was engaged.
Right.
And when Brienne was born, she was born because when my wife's water broke, they put her on bed rest in the hospital, Sutter
Gotcha.
Memorial in Sacramento. And so she was on bed rest. They had to, keep her legs. They had these little wraps around her legs for circulation and all that stuff. But like, because her water broke, the amniotic fluid kept leaking, kept coming out. So, this stuff was,
Gotcha.
so they had to elevate her lower half to kind of keep the amniotic fluid in her
Wow.
to take care of the baby. And so it was really weird. But what happened is, like, one Saturday, the baby stopped moving. They weren't getting any movement. So that was
Okay.
December 7th, the day she was born. They were like, look, we need to take her because she's not moving. We're not getting enough activity.
Hey, Cheryl, come on.
Yep. And I'll never forget. That's when I called my mom. And you got to understand something. Like, we went to church, but we weren't in Christ growing up.
Gotcha. I'm with
You know
you.
what I mean?
I'm
Like,
with
so
you.
we went to the Baptist church. We went through all the
Yeah.
motions and everything, but there was not really a relationship. But I never
Right.
forget. I called my mom that Saturday, and I was emotional. I'm like, look, they're getting ready to take the baby. She's not moving, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't like the way this feels. I'd never
Right.
been here before, and that was the first time that I actually heard, and I'm just being real. My mom may not like me after this. That was the first time my mom actually led prayer.
Wow.
My mom said, "Let's pray," and then my mom prayed, right?
Wow.
And like, it was the first time I heard my mom pray, and
Right.
I got peace,
Gotcha. Okay.
right? That was December 7th, 2000. I mean, December 7th, 19 was that? When was Brian born? 2002.
Right.
Uh, December 7th, 2002. My mother prayed, and her prayer brought me peace, and I was able to go do what I needed to do
Wow.
with the baby, right? And so what's interesting with when Brienne was born, my wife had some cardiovascular issues. You know, we thought we were going to lose her. We didn't know.
Wow.
If she was in the recovery room, she was
Right.
breathing short, rapid breaths, and I'm like, "What's
Right.
she's not supposed to be breathing like this?" You know. And they took her to the cardiovascular floor, and they started doing scans and stuff, and found out, you know, they were afraid of pulmonary embolisms because of
Right.
the bed rest. You
Right.
know,
Right.
and so like we didn't know how in danger she was
Gotcha.
until after the fact,
Okay.
right? They,
Wow.
you know, like they made us look at these videos, and that's when I realized, man, pulmonary embolism could take you out
Right.
like
Right.
nothing, you know.
Yeah.
And so she had clotting in her lungs.
Right.
She had clots in her lungs, and so they were like, "No, we got it." And so she like for the first 3 days, my wife was up on like the fourth floor in the cardiovascular unit,
Wow.
being monitored,
Right.
and Brienne is down in the NICU
Wow.
because she was 4 pounds. She was
Right.
like a
Right.
couple of months early.
Right. Right.
So for the first 72 hours, my wife couldn't even see her baby,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So it
Mhm.
was me.
Yeah.
All that initial, the first, you know, the bonding and everything, and the
Mhm.
first feeding and all that, that was me
Yes.
with Brienne, you know,
Right.
and my wife was up there on the fourth floor, you know, fighting for her life. It was crazy. Uh,
So,
oh, she's so
so,
funny. So that like it was a whole different experience for me as a father, because that was something that
right.
I had never experienced before,
Right.
right? Uh, so so then after that, you know, it was all about having to get out of the hospital. So it was like, you know, okay, well, how soon can my wife go home? And then how
Right.
soon can my daughter go home so
Right.
we can get our life, you know? So that's kind of, so my mindset was a little different. It was a different experience, uh, but it definitely had me paying closer attention, you
Right.
know, because up to that point, we'd never really had any issues with anybody being through the birthing process.
Right.
I'd never
Yeah.
seen that, and I had definitely never seen anything happen to, you know, a mother during the birthing process. That just freaked me out. You
Right.
know, like, what you mean? What's wrong with my wife? What?
Right.
Y'all just took the baby. What? Why is there a problem? You know, it
Wow.
didn't make sense to me.
Right.
You know, just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
We went through that. Yeah. The
yeah,
baby
but
coming
God is
early.
something, man. You know, he
Yes.
don't. You know, it's like we found out after the fact uh, how much danger we were in. So,
Wow.
you know, you learn these lessons. But I think that, you know, having gone through the birthing process before, it helped me, it prepared me for
Right.
that. Although it was still emotional,
Right.
you know, it was
Yeah.
highly emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, we had our actually before AJ, we had a baby. Uh, Jesus. I went blank there. Oh, oh man. Oh, Haley Katana Walker. Yeah, we had. I can't remember the exact date. I think it may have been 2003-ish. Sam will probably correct me on it. And unfortunately, she lived like 3 days. So both my wife was at risk, and of course, put my baby. My baby was at risk as well. Oh, but so going through that situation, and um, Sam got an opportunity to at least see our child before, situation got real bad. Or 2004, right?
Yeah.
So it was that. So I understand 100% how you felt, like, and knowing the risk, and knowing how bad it was. Yeah.
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 My wife, when she was in the emergency room, yeah, it got crazy. It got crazy. And I wasn't in there. I wasn't able, because she had to go through an ambulance, and I just heard stories. There's a lady that just knocked the nurse over. like what is going on? Who's acting up in there?
Mhm,
Finding out later it was her.
mhm,
But yeah, it's the he said, okay, that was a year, right? Rachel was born, July 2004. Yeah, so they would have been friends or known each other.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, it's the journey. So let's see what happens. I want to kind of move ahead a little bit.
mhm,
So going into raising Rachel and Brienne in a different situation, different mindset, different
mhm.
strength, yeah, different space. What was it that you learned with the your first set of kids as opposed to like now being in a more, I guess, stable space, because I know there's a lot you could talk about, having the first three
It's
and
funny, I used to say this, and it was really I found out it really was bad. I used to tell people that my first 3 were my dumb kids, and my
oh,
last 2 were my smart kids. I said, "Because your children are only as good as you when you have them."
right.
Right, and I don't mean
Speaking
dumb in
directly
a
to
sense
yourself.
like that. I
Right,
yeah, I didn't mean dumb in a sense that they're unlearned or anything like that.
right,
It's just that I was a dummy when I had them,
right,
you know?
right.
And so there's a drastic, considerable difference
Yeah,
between my first children and then my last 2 because of my state of mind,
right,
and so what I learned is be more well-rounded before you start wanting to bring children into this world.
right,
Right? Everybody wants to be a daddy, you know, but are you prepared to be a father? Are you prepared to be a parent?
right,
You know,
right,
and a lot of daddies walking around here, but they're not a lot of parents. A
right,
lot of mommies walking around here, but they're not a lot of
right,
parents. And so what I learned is that when as much as I love them, I wasn't
right,
prepared. And I'm not
right.
saying that you could ever really be ready, but
Yeah,
I do
definitely.
believe that mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, you
Right,
can get yourself in preparation mode,
right,
for
right,
bringing life into this world.
right,
And I think that was the difference. When when Brienne and Rachel were born, I had already suffered loss. I had already suffered issues. I had already gone through those things, you know, and so I had enough in me to recognize what it was going to take,
right,
right? Because as much as I thought I was there and engaged before, I knew the difference between being there and being engaged.
right, right.
That's the
Yeah,
thing. Because I watched and paid attention, tried to participate in everything, but
right.
where I lacked was how critical my presence and my nurturing was.
Right,
You know, you
right.
don't just uh you don't just raise children, you nurture, you rear
Yes.
them,
Yes.
right? And that's the stuff that I did not understand in the beginning, but I
Right,
learned with Lady and I.
right,
That was the major difference, and those early years, how critical those early years were, and how
right.
critical it is to make sure that you try and alleviate as much pressure and stress off the mother. Like,
Yes.
if you want your children to be healthy, make sure their mama is healthy, you know?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
you don't think about that stuff. You think, they just a baby maker, you push the baby out and we keep it moving,
Right,
but you don't think about all the things that
right,
women go through,
right,
and so when it come to dealing with the children, I felt like the best I could be for the children was to ensure that the environment was a nurturing environment,
yes.
right?
Yeah, definitely.
That was the difference for me. It was more about making sure there was that the house was really an incubator
Right,
for the
right.
development
Wow.
of the child,
Right,
you know. Yeah.
definitely. I think that's big. That's huge. We don't consider all of the factors, when it comes to raising and balancing, your family out, and you're right, especially with mom spending, a lot of time, majority of the time with the baby, it's like, making sure she's good.
Yeah.
And I've learning that one. Yeah, it's so funny. Like me and Sam were in with AJ, we were kind of in a better place having him. And then having Alexis, you know, it was a rough pregnancy because we was in a rough place. You know,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
like a really, really hard time. You know, she
Mhm.
she came out as we call her the angry baby. She didn't want to really be touched. She was like stiff. You know, like who she is now is like way different than what she was as a baby. Like
Mhm.
she just was like, yeah, yeah, go on, just take me wherever you take me, put me down. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like leave me be. Yes, you know, because we was like going through, like it was like a hard time. So it does, all of that matters, you know, when you're raising your baby, and the environment and what they're growing up in.
Yeah.
And it's not enough to just have a nice place. It's not enough to just have a place that's warm, but it's the whole, where the love is, you know, loving each other, you know, the husband loving the wife, wife loving the husband creates great parenting, you know,
Yeah.
because now we're
Yeah.
in a better space to parent, because when, you know, in that space, but when there's strife and there's issues, it spills into your parenting, you know, because now I don't, my patience is
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
shot, you know. So
Yeah.
it's creating having the patience for my children, and being able to be in the right mindset to raise your kids, to nurture them, to be able to deal with wherever they're at,
Yeah.
wherever their level at, and whatever their struggles are, and being able to have, like we talked about, I think yesterday, you know, how we approach situations and issues coming in hot, you know.
Yeah.
But if it,
Yeah.
like if there's issues in the household, then you're not paying attention to that. You're just coming in hot because, let's keep it real, some of what you putting your aggression onto them is based on what's happening between you and your wife, you know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
I
it
learned
affects
a
every.
long time ago. Someone, one of the a lady in the church told me. She said, "Your angered reaction to a situation can cause you to miss the teaching moment for a child."
Oof. Right.
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 Uh, that
Yeah.
you miss the teachable moment
Yeah.
because of your temporary anger.
Yes.
You know, and so that's when I started, learning the difference in my mind. I started learning the difference between reaction and response.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Right. That's good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sam said absolutely, because Lexus was an angry baby because I was angry the whole pregnancy. She felt all the feelings that I did, and we honestly had to patiently love her through it. Now she is the sweetest thing ever, but we
Mhm.
had to love her to that point because of our foolishness. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. 100% agree on that. Um, so yeah, it's kind of wild, but of course it makes sense. You know, like you can kind of see, you know, what's happening in the household based on the kids. you
Yeah.
can you can it's just you look at the kids like, oh yeah, it's crazy in that house.
Mhm.
It's bananas, you know. Oh, and you could always kind of feel it and see it. And even interactions when they're out, you know, how the kids interact with the parents and how the parents interact with each other, kind of like as one unit, you know.
Yeah.
And you can always see that kids are always they're authentic. They're just who they are. They don't cover up. They don't wear masks. You know, they just who they are. They speak truth. You know, oh, truth to a hurt. You're like, oh, did they really say
Mhm.
that out loud? Or like, where's like when your kids go places and they always ask for something to eat, like you make it look like I don't feed you, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're not eating at home, like
Yeah.
always asking. Oh, so yeah, they are definitely a reflection of what's happening in your household. So yeah, so kind of wrapping it up, you know, one of the things I learned, just as evolving as a dad, is like we're talking about with the patience and not coming in hot, and in response and reactions, you know, not overreacting, and not reacting properly, you know, because the learning situations, you know, there are times they need to know, is he really that crazy? You know, like how crazy is he? Should I test
Yeah.
his crazy? You know, and like I've told, I was like, sometimes you just got. It's always that question because I think about my, you know, my mom, she rest in peace, and my dad, like, it's like, how crazy are they? Like, how much shall I push it? You know,
Yeah.
will they
Yeah.
really take me out? You know, so it's those moments. You know, like that if when the questions are there, it kind of helps with the reverence or the healthy fear, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
And we talk about like not your child shouldn't be scared of you, but have
Right.
a healthy reverence or fear, you know, like just respect, like, you know.
Yeah. Reverential fear is
Right.
Delia.
Yeah.
That's what God wants us to have.
Right.
A reverential fear of Him. You know, you don't want to. I'm not afraid of no ghosts, but I do reverence God. I recognize the power of God, and
Right.
children should recognize the authority and the power of their parents.
Right.
You know, yeah,
Yeah. Because it honestly, like a scared fear makes it hard to operate under you, you know, because then you don't know what to do because you're so scared, you know. You're afraid to try anything, afraid to do anything because you're
yeah,
so scared. And I
yeah,
don't want my kids to live like that, you know, because granted, I need them to try things and make mistakes, and we have the correction moments, you know,
yeah,
though it doesn't sound great to say, but it's the truth, because you
yeah.
don't learn unless you try stuff, and then you try stuff and then it goes wrong. And you're like, oh, that
Oh,
didn't
that's
work out the way
exactly
it worked out in
what
my
we were
head.
talking about yesterday, right? Give
Yes.
them
Yep.
room to make
Yeah.
mistakes.
Make
You know,
mistakes. Make
yeah.
mistakes, you know. And then you have the, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Like, what? What was going through your mind when you know, what was the process happening when you decided to do this, you know? And we have to, and I realize, you know, it's funny saying that. You realize, you know, they're gonna try things. They gotta
Yeah.
learn through trying things. It said, Lady McCoy said, when we carried Brienne, we were in a powerful prayer season in our life. We carried Rachel, God bless her, blessed us to elevate our praise. We can see the prayer warrior and the praise in our daughters when they decided to show it. Yes, indeed.
When I like that last part, when they decide to
Decided
show
to
it.
show it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because like when my wife was pregnant, she was part of the 6 a.m. prayer group. So
Right.
she would drive to the church, bless you, Cheryl, and
Right.
pray at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning.
Wow.
Yep. Even to the
Yes,
point
you
where she got a speeding ticket driving to the church one morning. I got it in the mail that the camera took a picture
Oh,
of
not
her.
the camera.
Yeah, in Sacramento.
Not the camera.
Yeah, I was like, "Is this you coming from
Yes,
church?"
sir. Right. So when they
Yeah.
decide to show it.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Oh,
that definitely was it. So so there's a lot of lessons learned,
yes.
but I still think that uh, a lot of it has nothing to do. Most of it has nothing to do with the children, the experience of the children. A lot of it has to do with your elevation and maturity, your
Right.
evolution
Right.
as a grown up.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and how you make decisions, how you approach things. You said it, your response, how you respond to things, all
Yeah.
of that um, matters, and it becomes a part of how you interact with your children. And that's why I say there are a lot of young adults having children, but not a lot of grown folks.
Right. Right. True.
You know,
Yeah.
I've learned. I captioned this new phrase. I hope I can get it the right way. Uh, don't make grown up decisions based on childish emotion.
Mm.
You know,
Right.
uh,
That's good.
because young people, you know, we all want to be in love. We all want to do this. We want to have
Right.
family. We want to have somebody we can call our own and all of that.
Right.
And that's emotional.
Right.
That doesn't make you grown. You
Right.
know, you are young adults and you're making grown up decisions that are being driven by childish emotion.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. We're gonna just let that settle, sizzle in your spirit right there. So we appreciate you guys rocking and hanging with us. Make sure you share this with other fathers or dads and let them know they're not alone. Because that's why we're having a lot of these conversations. Because sometimes you feel like, man, am I the only dummy in this spot? Like, am I the only one struggling to figure this thing out? Trust me, there's no there's no manual totally on this. You know, like I said, that one book that just seems to pop up everywhere that people hand down, pass out. Seems like that's it. I'm pretty sure it's like a new edition of it, but I'm sure it's the same book. But I appreciate you guys rocking and hanging with us. That and the blue and white blanket that every baby gets. That whoever created that is making a fortune. So we appreciate you guys being with us and hanging with us. Thank you for always supporting. Thank you for being here. Like I said, make sure you can still share this with somebody. And if you miss any episode, you can always catch us on the podcast. Listen to the podcast. Put a rate and review. It helps us, helps other people see the podcast as well. He said, No Parenting 101 book. Right. You learn as you go. Experiences and mistakes. Yes, indeed.
My wife has a lot of nerve. She got a lot of nerve. She see, she's saying that now because she went through every book.
And it was like,
because she's she buys books. She's a book person. Right. And so she had all these books, man. Of course. And I'm gonna get this right. And so now here we are, 18 years later, and she's saying, ain't no Parenting 101 book. She learned books.
You figure like I study for everything else.
I'm glad she got said it out loud, because I promise you, I know I could go in my garage right now, and I know I could pull out all the books. Not anymore, but I could have pulled out 15 books.
Wow.
You had every book.
Trying to figure it out. I'm gonna get this right. Someone's got the.
She did. She had books from Asia. What Asians were doing, because she was like,
they look like they got it together.
So smart. Right. She learned about putting patterns in front of children by reading books that came out of Asia. Because their brain activity. You got me. She got me started. Children signing, like we learned to teach our children sign language when they were babies, so that like children cry, you never know why they're crying, so you start teaching them sign language. You'll know they're hungry because they will tell you they're hungry. Eat. That's what it was. Bottle. There's so many different sign languages. So there were baby signs. So she had this book on baby signing, and we did that. And people were like, how would you know? Well, my wife read this book,
Right.
That's how I'm telling you, man. Right. She had every book. She had every book. And so she's saying
scrap the books. Just figure it out.
It is hilarious. It's hilarious.
Figure it out. Yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, guys, we appreciate you being here. Continue to stay safe. And I don't care what people say. Wear your mask, a mask, some kind of mask. She said, I had so many books on raising children, but the one book I heard the most from was the Bible.
Yes. That's true. That's true. Indeed. Absolutely.
All right. Oh, so we look forward to seeing you guys same time, same channel tomorrow as we proceed in this vein of conversation. Make sure you join our community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576, and you'll get the notification of our next broadcast. And we appreciate you guys for being here and rocking with us. And I promise you, before the end of this week, I'm going to give you guys, if you would like, an opportunity to purchase our new Brothers of Legacy shirts that we are rocking with the logo, and it will help support the broadcast as well. So just look out for that. And we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. As always, be blessed. Know that we love you, but God loves you more. Like I always say in the end of the show. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that, Lady McCory. And thank you, Mom McCory, for being here. Thank you, Lady McCory, for always supporting. And we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Peace out. As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for hanging, being with us. Sharing is caring. All of my replay peoples that watch.